So our entire world has never let the odds appears. That's good. Next is keep you from doing. Where do we want that? We want that to appear underneath odds, like that. And let's turn that, hit R, 90. Remember, all your layers are 3D, so they work properly. And let's hit C, C, C. There we go. Hit V for Victor. Drag this guy under here. Shrink it just a bit. Hold down the Command key to minimize the shrinking. Actually, is that about right? For now, that is fine. Okay, now I should do something so that this makes sense to you. Why does that look like that? That's so small, that's so big, that sits there. That's just kind of dumb. But we have to use our imagination to imagine what this is going to do. We're first going to see this in the screen, and then the camera is going to turn, so odds is flat normally. The camera is going to stay where it is, so this line then appears, and so on. We will move around later on, but right now let's set the camera to do something that makes sense to us. In order for this to work, we need to go to the active camera view. There it is. Okay, never let the. Do we like where that is? Nah. Let's hit P, and we're going to want R visible as well. So hold down Shift, R, and do we like that? Well, let's make that a little bigger, and we'll just put it there for now. That's could be worse. Okay. Now that will move when the odds shows up. The way that I like to make the camera move in this sort of a thing is to have it rotate and or change position in the space of 3 frames. So if it's going to move and settle into position here, let's go back 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. And let's set a keyframe right here. This is the way we like it. We like it at position, we like it at orientation. And now we're going to move 3 frames forward. You might like 5 frames. I like 3. You might like 1 frame. It might be different for different animations. Now, let's change the orientation so that the odds is now horizontal. Oop, not that way, this way, and let's make it 90 because we know it'll be 90. Okay, we've got that covered. Now let's change our position. Pull back. Whoop. Hold down Shift to make it pull back more. And now we move it across. Wait, it goes up and down. That is because we have just turned the camera 90 degrees. Up is across, and across is up. So undo. We need to now move the Y value because the camera is turned 90 degrees. So if we like that, then we like that. Okay? Never let the odds and so on. Let's keep you from doing. Okay, let's just end it. Where's doing? Every now and then you need to go back. Let's just hit U here. U to keep those guys visible, and close that, close that. There we go. Never let the odds. Let's just stop right there. Hit N for your work area. See what that looks like.
Never let the odds, 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 never let the odds.
That's not that satisfying. It's a little better to actually make the odds always visible. Try that.
Never let the odds, never let the odds, never let the odds.
I would then move the camera a bit so that, let's push in. So you're not quite sure what that is. This is up to you, but I prefer not to have something pop on during a turn. You could also have the camera turn, never let the turn, then odds appears, but that could be not quite right. Well, let's see what that looks like. Let's move odds back to where it was. Let's have the camera turn happen maybe here. See what that looks like.
Never let the odds, 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 never let the odds.
Not entirely satisfying. So let's undo that. Let's bring the odds over here, see what this looks like.
Never let the odds, never let the odds, never let the odds, never let the odds.
That's a little better. All right then. Never let the odds keep you from doing. All right then. Let's move to the making the text appear word by word part of our program here. Just having the phrase appear isn't great. We want the words to appear when they are said. So let us twirl down the never let the triangle and let's hit animate, opacity. Make the opacity 0. Under the range selector, set a keyframe for offset. And under advanced, do two things. Based on words and smoothness 0. Now just to make this smaller, hit U, and that is the keyframe we just made here. Now at the beginning we want to see never. Let's drag the keyframe there and change the offset value until we see never. There it is. Move forward to let. Let. There we go. Forward to the. There we go. Okay. See what that looks like. Actually, since there's nothing here, we want this to be 0. 0. See what that looks like.
Never let the odds, 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 never let the odds.
Great. Okay, now we need to do the same thing to the keep you from doing line. So let's just close that up now. This one, keep you from doing. Twirl it down. The text is visible. If you didn't see the word text, you need to twirl down until you actually do see the word text. You don't need to see this. So let's just hit animate, opacity. And opacity should be 0. Range selector, offset, set a keyframe. And under advanced, do two things based on words, smoothness 0. Let's go back up here, hit U. Now then, 0. Well, we want to see the word keep right here, so move the offset until we see keep. Now, we don't have to drag along to find these, we just need to hit K, and that gets us to the next, or J to the previous marker. So now we want to see U, okay, from, okay, and doing. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. N gives us the end of the work area at this point. RAM preview.
Never let the odds keep you from doing. Never let the odds keep you from doing. Never let the odds keep you from doing. Never let the odds keep you from doing.
Okay.